acoustics, but
Yeah.
someday.
Well, we'll go ahead and get started. I know everybody kind of knows each other. Brian probably doesn't. So we'll just go around. Today, our community chat is with the Cozad150th Celebration Committee, and all things third quarter. Upcoming right away is July 1st, and we'll be talking about that, but we'll also be talking about other things. So if you just want to go around the room and introduce yourself, we'll get started.
I'll start. I'm Ariel Barilla. I'm on the 150th Planning Committee as the graphic designer.
And you do a great job.
Thank you.
I'm Sherry Rosner, and I am on the 150th committee, and my baby is the vintage baseball game.
Jordan Starman, Chamber Director, kind of part of the 150th and everything else.
You came to learn more.
Yes, kind of involved everywhere.
She's new, so we're
Yes.
easing her into it.
Yes.
And I don't know if I said my name. Laura Yocum. I'm the library director, but I'm also on the 150th committee.
One thing, I'm Brian Eden. I'm the reporter and editor with the Lexington Clipper Herald.
Nice to meet you.
And Brian is a regular at our community chats.
Okay.
I like keeping up what's going on here in Cozad, and these are a good way to do it. So
Yeah,
I'm
perfect.
glad to host.
Well, so and just to let you know, there's flyers up front too, if you want to grab some. As far as the Cozad community, you should be seeing these flyers up this week. We have South Central Development Committee delivering these for us this week. So we should be getting a lot of stuff up. And Sherry, I think I heard you say that you heard some ads on KRDN.
I did.
I heard this morning too.
Sounded really good.
It was a lot of information to get into a 10-second ad, for sure. So, July 1st, it's Saturday. It's not the 4th of July, but it's Independence Weekend. We are calling it the Old Fashioned Independence Celebration. Everything's over at Muni Park. Our goal is really just to make it old fashioned in the sense of family oriented, things to do, not a lot of high cost or no cost events. And it starts off with the student council at the high school is doing a disc golf tournament. It's going to be a shotgun start at 9 o'clock in the morning. Wyatt Hosick is in charge of that at the high school. Dawn Beans is the student council sponsor, and she's also available. It's a really great thing, affordable thing for families. They're teams of 2. It only costs $5 for a team of 2. And according to Wyatt, they're going to spray paint the directions of the holes so people know where the next hole is. So I think that'll be a really great thing. They're charging a little bit of money, but they're going to be doing some fun prizes too. So that's how this starts. And then the sand volleyball team, the high school volleyball team is doing a co-ed sand volleyball tournament. And I don't have the start of that. They are limiting it to 10 teams. Daryl Franciscato at the Cozad Community Wellness Center and is also the head volleyball coach. He said that they already had 2 teams, so there's still some openings. It is $100 per team, so it is teams of 4. So if you look at that, it's $25 a person.
I thought I read somewhere that it started at 11.
Could possibly be.
We have it on here as 9.
Yeah, I don't think I think it all depends on how many teams they have.
Yeah.
And you said they're limiting it to 10?
10
But they
teams.
already have 2
They
signed up.
already have 2 signed up. I did a lot of talking to Ariel, and I did a lot of talking to people at the Platte Valley Tailwinds, and some people picked these up and they were excited about it. And we had a couple people pick up the disc golf. There was supposed to be a disc golf tournament in Lexington last weekend, but they had to cancel that. So those people were excited about that. If cornhole is your gig, Darren and Jake Durr are putting on singles and doubles tournaments. It's gonna be over by where the horseshoe pits are. And singles are $15 a player, doubles are $40 a team. Bags are gonna fly at 10:30, starting with singles, and then afterwards for the teams. If you know Darren, he's a huge cornhole guy, plays Band Factory all the time. So that's gonna be a fun thing to do.
Wow, 90% cash.
90%
payout if they give
cash
enough players.
payout, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and I haven't talked to Jake recently, so I don't know how they're doing as far as people signing up. But the disc golf and the cornhole are doing sign up that morning, so you can still do that. The flyer I don't have, the library is doing a pet parade, and it's gonna start at 10:30. There are large dog, small dog, cats, other animal, stuffed animal, I think other large animal category. I did have a question the other day asking if horses were gonna be allowed on the parade, and I just said, we're doing the parade on the walking track. Although there is an other large category, because I didn't want to say no, but I would hope people would use a common sense.
Oh, is it, BYOPS, bring your own pooper scooper?
Yeah, well, and what's awesome about Union Park is, Maddie Wilkinson a couple of years ago did a community service project, and so there are doggy bags.
I've seen those, yes.
And
I
it's a
was
great thing.
thinking of the potential horse.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I did have somebody stop in the library, yesterday, and their son has a hooded dragon, which would fit into the other category, so. I'm rather partial to the stuffed animal category. So that starts at 10:30, there's no cost to that. And I should say that if people are interested, since we're recording this, that sign up is on Wilson Public Library's Facebook page. So if they're interested, they can do that. There will be flyers going around with information about that though, and it does have the QR code that you can scan. Kathy Flaster is on the committee. She couldn't be here today. She is our person in charge of food trucks, and you guys are gonna have to correct me if I'm wrong. Mr. Taco Loco is gonna be there starting at 11 o'clock. Meridian Tap House is gonna be there. Sun Snow is gonna be there. I think the cheerleaders are doing concession stand in the afternoon.
The coffee tree.
The coffee tree is gonna be there as well, so. That would be something, if you have a food truck and you're interested, contact us. I'm sure we make more room for people. The exciting thing is the swimming pool is now open. It's officially open as of yesterday. So the 150th committee is sponsoring a free day at the pool. So you can come at opening.
What time is opening for the pool?
I think it's 12:30. And then it closes at 5, and then it reopens at 6:30 and is open till 8:30, I think. Along with that, we have some water bounce houses that will be in the soccer field, so kids can kind of go back and forth between there. Carmen Morse was not able to be here today. She is the After Zone director, and After Zone is having their family day in the park, but as part of that, they're opening the games that they're gonna do to all kids and families for free. So that will be happening starting at 3 o'clock over in the soccer field area, and that will probably go till 5 o'clock. Bobby Devine is gonna DJ in the park, so we're gonna have live music going on from 2 till 5. And then starting at 5 o'clock, KRVN is gonna be outside of the Legion Field. They are doing their summer promotion, which is called Living the Dream, and you can sign up for the truck that they're giving away. And they will be,
They're broadcasting live.
broadcasting live. I was trying to think of the word broadcasting, that would be it. So they're gonna be there till 7 o'clock, which is right before and during the vintage baseball game, and that is Sherry's baby. So I'm gonna let her talk about that.
So for the baseball game, we're going to kick it off with the Declaration of Independence, which I believe is going to be, would you say, recited by Peter Osborne, director of the Robert Henry Museum. And as of right now, I believe we haven't talked into doing it in costume, which I think will add an extra flair to it. We will also then have Paul McGinnis, who will be singing the national anthem a cappella. Then we will read the team rosters, which will be a lot of fun because back in the day, every baseball player had a nickname. And so.
Have they come up with their nicknames yet?
We had a team meeting a couple weeks ago and Jake had a list of the team names. And then I reminded him that this is from the era when it was a gentleman's game. And that they needed to be family appropriate.
Oh, gosh.
And so they said they're going to need to do a little bit of work on a couple of the names. So here is our team roster.
You might just announce that for the people who click on.
So our team roster is Jake Paulson, who is the team captain, Hank Plaster, Jacob Rush, Colin Watovic, Matt Linder, Brendan Molden, Nick Smith, Connor Young, Drew Young, Brian Cargill, and Brian Davis. Have all agreed to play and
That's awesome.
and give the crowd some good entertainment.
I was gonna say, there's a wide variety of ages.
Yes, there are. And it should be interesting because on the Star BBC's team, they have a wide variety of ages as well. So it should be pretty evenly matched. And it just should be a lot of fun.
What are some of the rules?
Well, there are some key differences between today's baseball and yesterday's baseball. One of them, gloves, baseball gloves, mitts had not been invented yet. So they do not use baseball gloves.
So that's one of the rules, they can't use.
No, they
Baseball
can't,
gloves?
you have to use period appropriate equipment, which the Star BBC brings with them. And so the baseballs were a little different, the bats are a little different. Obviously, no aluminum bats, it's all wooden bats, but even those are a little bit longer, a little bit thinner in diameter than today's wooden bats. No, baseball gloves are not going to be used. Another interesting difference, no sunglasses. Those had not been invented yet, and so no sunglasses are allowed on the field. You have to rely on a cap. And the terminology was very different back then. For example, today we call them a pitcher. Back then they were called a hurler. They hurled the ball, they did not pitch the ball. The bases are somewhat different. You still have 3 bases, you still have home plate. But like I said, the terminology is a bit different. Another difference is that today we have the fantastic scoreboards where they light up, the crowd knows how many balls, how many strikes, what the score is at all times, as long as the scoreboard's working. Back then, when a player came into home and wanted their score tallied, they have to go to the scorekeeper. They have to ring a bell and politely request the scorekeeper to tally their run. So, and my understanding is that if they don't follow that protocol, run doesn't count. So, those are just a couple of the differences, but it should make it really fun and something I think that the crowd will enjoy, even the kids. because it is so different from today's game. There's no cutting, cussing, there's no spitting, no name calling really. I gave each of the Cozad Legends team members a list of terminology that can be used. You will hear a lot of huzzahs, or somebody saying, "You got Chicago'd on that." And those pamphlets with those the terminology and some of the different things that I just talked about, those will be passed out at the game to whoever attends. The game is free of charge for anybody who wants to attend at any age, so we really hope the town will come out and watch this really neat event. Paul McGinnis, singer of the national anthem, is also going to be our announcer, and my understanding is he himself is legendary for the Legion baseball and announcing the games, and so I think that's going to be a lot of fun listening to him, because he was also given the terminology and the rules to study ahead of time, so he'll be incorporating some of that into his announcing, which I think will really add to it.
Well, and then the gun raffle will be during
the seventh inning
stretch, but you'll still be able to buy tickets.
Right up until the seventh inning, you can buy the tickets. And during the seventh inning stretch, we are going to, the Star BBC team, and I think I have the Cozad Legends into helping lead the crowd in, take me out to the ball game. And then we'll have the drawing for the commemorative guns that we had commissioned.
Now you're selling those tickets over at Homestead Bank.
We're selling them at Homestead Bank and at Rustic and Red. And I think you can get them here at the library. No?
Nope, just those two.
Just those two.
Places, yeah. But we'll be selling tickets
at the game and throughout the day at Community Park.
And remind me how much they cost.
They are $20 a ticket.
Right. And they are 2 guns, actually.
Correct.
Bond Arms 45 guns with classic Derringer styling.
Yes, kind of in the period of when John J. Cozad came to Nebraska, they were kind of styled in the format of what a gun would look like back then that perhaps a gambler would have been carrying.
Like that fit in a coat pocket.
Yes, kind of like a little pocket Derringer, basically.
And both of them are engraved with the 150th logo. And the box that they come in, the commemorative box, is by Jeremy Coe from Natural Escapes. It's a wood box.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Has the round 150th logo burned and etched into the top of the lid.
And that actually is on display over at Rustic and Red.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And if somebody would like to see the guns prior to the drawing, they are with Harrington, I believe. Robert Harrington is holding them for us. So.
That's kind of Kathy's babies.
Yes.
Kathy Flaster would be a great person to contact if you'd like to see the guns ahead of time.
Yes.
And then we're hoping that people will stay around after the game.
Absolutely, because after the game, as soon as it begins to get dark, we are having a professional fireworks display. And you will be able to see those from Muni Park, so you will not have to leave and go elsewhere if you want. Or if you want seating, or you're not going to be at the park for the game, you're welcome to come out to the airport, park on the apron, and you'll be able to see the fireworks from there.
You can even park over at Meadowlark. They're
Yes.
offering parking, and you can sit around the lake. But to be fair, pretty much anywhere in Cozad you'll be able to see this 45-minute display. Troy Franzen, he is the Board of Public Works water supervisor, and he has his pyrotechnic license. He will be shooting off the explosives. Are there any questions about that? That was a half an hour just on the 1st of July. Did we catch up to speed, Jordan, on that? Brian, do you have any questions for us?
I think I could. I got all this information to go through, so I'll do my best to kind of include that chronologically. let people know what's going on.
Yeah. Well, so after the 1st of July, I know people are like, then we're done, right? No, we have events all year long. So coming up on July 29th, Peter Osborne is going to be doing a presentation at the museum at 1 o'clock. It's a Saturday. The Art Spirit, which is a book of Robert Henry's teachings, is actually 100 years old this year. So he's going to be doing that presentation, and he has an intern from Ireland. Her name is Jessica Sharkey, and so she's going to be helping him out. If you haven't met Jessica yet, she's quite fun to listen to. And then we go into August. People here might know, but in 1973, the Rotary planted a time capsule that is right outside the east window at Waypoint Bank. And we were alerted to it kind of in a serendipitous way. So the Rotary is going to be digging that up on August 17th at 5:30. I do believe that there's going to be hamburgers and hot dogs served. I'm not sure what else is going to be happening, but they don't even know what's inside the time capsule for sure, because that was 50 years ago. And if you think about it, where are most of us going to be in 50 years? Well, Jordan and Ariel, you know, they might just be in a retirement home at that point.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're excited about doing that. The public is encouraged to start taking things to Waypoint Bank and giving them to Tim Sladek as far as putting them in the next time capsule to be opened in 2073, which would be our bicentennial. And then the same day, only at 7 o'clock at night, here at the library, Peter Osborne is going to be back, and he's going to be doing a presentation on Robert Henry, the teacher and as an artist. And that will start at 7 o'clock. Again, that's Thursday. And then on August 19th, to go along with the whole time capsule theme, Saturday, August 19th is International Geocaching Day. And Mike Marshall over at the 100th Meridian is huge into geocaching. And he has put many caches around Cozad. So if you don't know what geocaching is, it's kind of like searching for buried treasure, only using your smartphone to help you out. And he has an event that's going to start at 9 o'clock over there. They're having donuts and coffee as long as they last. And then they're going to be doing a special geocache about the 100th Meridian and encouraging people to do the other caches around town. So that's free. On August 26th, Cozad150 is doing another poker run. And Sherry, do you have it? Very much information on that?
I believe it's going to start at the Tap House again this year. The destinations, the different stops are a little bit different from last year's poker run. So they've changed it up a little bit. There's going to be prizes for those who get the best hand. And I think we're working on some raffle prizes as well that we'll give out then at the end of the evening. I just hope.
Well, I know they're going to Nautical Rose from the Tap House and then over to Lost Way Brewery in Holdridge, and then coming back to Overton Golf Course. And then they're going to end up at Big East again. And it's going to be $30 for your vehicle of choice with $15 for an extra player. So that'll be fun. It was a lot of fun last year. I'd never been on a poker run before. Jordan, have you ever been on a poker run? It was a lot of fun.
It is.
And then the same day, because you know we tend to have things on the same day, Prairie Point Junction, Julie Geiger is having her Quilts Around the Block here in downtown Cozad, and their theme is celebrating 150 years of quilts. People display quilts all over town, so if you are interested in displaying a quilt, talk to Julie. But the quilt show is gonna be from 10 in the morning till 3 p.m. at the 100th Meridian Museum and in downtown business windows. And at 10:30 a.m., Nebraska humanities speaker Yvonne Hollenbeck is going to entertain everybody. She is a cowgirl poet. And she's going to also have a trunk show and stories of quilts spanning 150 years of her family's history. That'll be very awesome. And then we get into heydays. Heydays is gonna be September 8th, 9th, and 10th, and our big event is going to be the beard judging will happen after the parade that day. So, gentlemen, and I guess, you know, if it fits, ladies, you wanted to start growing your beard. There are gonna be prizes for best groomed, longest, and most unique. Sherry just reminded me something that did not get into our third quarter newsletter, which also will be coming out soon. Right now, we're working on a reenactment of the shooting between John J. Cozad and Alfred Pearson. And it's by a rendezvous team. Do you guys all know what a rendezvous team is? Because I didn't. And it's just a group of people who go around and do different reenactments, whether it's a Civil War reenactment or something out of history. But, and I am sorry, I can't remember the rendezvous name. I want to say Deer Creek Rendezvous. Elisa Mullen, who lives between Cozad and Gothenburg, her parents down in Kansas are part of this rendezvous. And she's the one who told us about it. So she's working on them to come up right now. I think they're planning, if they can get it all arranged, on August 19th, we'll be over in the city park, which will be cool. They'll be camping out in period attire. So with the little church and the little schoolhouse and the Pony Express building, it should be really pretty awesome. I don't know more information about that, but we'll definitely get that out to the public as we can. And that takes us through third quarter. Yes. Fourth quarter, we'll have even more. And I know Brian Lexington's working on stuff. They'll turn 100 next year.
Absolutely.
What types of things do they have going on?
I think they're kind of planning on like a huge weekend event. I think I've heard a few different things like being thrown around, but I think they're focusing kind of in June, weekend in June, kind of doing a huge throwout, and then obviously kind of attaching like the different yearly events that happen in Lex. They're planning on also kind of just attaching the 150th with that kind of flair.
Yeah.
So,
you know, because the first date that we can come up with that's even halfway attributed to Cozad is December 6th of 1873. So, you know, someone back in 1973 decided it was the 100th anniversary. Do not get Peter Osborne started when Cozad was actually founded. And, you know, you can have some definitions of founded, incorporated, dreamed of. I think Cozad, the city being dreamed of in 1873 was probably a little closer to actuality, but because they celebrated the 100th in 1973, we were kind of obligated to keep that date because Lexington was around before Cozad.
that's kind of what surprised me when I saw this. I'm like, I don't know if that matches how the railroad went down, but
Yeah.
I get that.
But it's also, see, Lexington goes by their incorporation date
Yeah.
because they were Plum Creek before they were Lexington.
Yeah.
So that's why I said you get into those semantics of words.
Yeah, you get into, it's like, well, we incorporated then, but it's like, well, people have found it. Yeah, so it's, well, somebody homesteaded, yeah, it's, you can debate that.
Yes, and I think ours comes from December 6th when John Jay signed that he bought the land.
Mhm.
So that's why I said dreamed of
Right.
might be a little more accurate, but Anyway, there's lots of stuff going on, so I know we're gonna try to make that December 6th-ish weekend something good too. So,